I'm just going to use the African proverb. It takes a village to build a family. Is because we have walked away and we have veered away from the days of communal support and community. Hi, thank you for joining another episode of Get Set with Lissette. This is where we have inspiring conversations that empower you to get set. What's been going on? I've been a little quieter. Episodes are now finally starting to drop. As you can see, things look a little different. I was on a small hiatus for a little time, but I'm refocused and I'm ready to bring new content, but the same vulnerability and the same openness and, of course, the same vibes. So let's get set for yet another one of those episodes. I know I'm a broken record, but I always say it. This is going to be one of those good ones. Today, I have with me Gina Vazquez. She is the Group Violence Intervention Support and Outreach Coordinator for the City of Harrisburg Bureau of Police. Hi, Gina. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for coming and having this conversation with me. I really think that today's topic is imperative for our society, not just the City of Harrisburg where we're local, but the fact that this is an ever-growing issue just around. So I am excited to get this conversation going. But before we go ahead and we get it started, I like to get those jitters out. I want to make sure you feel comfortable. So it's a little icebreaker. And this is more of a, do you prefer this or that? Okay.
Sure.
Don't overthink it. Just real quick. So quick fire. Don't want you to overthink it of any sort. All right. So it's going to be more of like a, do you prefer this or that? Sweet or salty?
Salty.
All right. Early mornings or late nights?
Late nights.
Introvert or extrovert?
Extrovert.
Extrovert? Okay. And now this one, I always say it, there is no wrong answer. However, are you going to watch the YouTube or listen to the podcast?
Both.
I know that's right. She said, I'm doing it all, huh? So, okay. How we feeling? We feel good?
Yeah, I feel well.
All right. So one of the things that I love doing, and it's imperative for me, is I always like to qualify or, find statistics about the topic at hand, because I think at times when we think of topics like today, we're going to be talking about, group violence or gang violence and, things that in theory, we know that gangs exist. We understand, the stereotypes of what gangs are, whatever. But even in cities like ours, I don't know if people really understand like the prevalence of it. So I did do some research myself. And in it, I did see, and we can talk about it, right? Because again, the stats that I talked about, and you and I, we talked about it off recording, that some of these statistics aren't necessarily specific to gang violence in general, but the homicides and things that are happening when it comes to like actual deaths still is there.
Correct.
Fair, right?
Correct.
So I did see that in 2024, Harrisburg recorded 22 homicides. Now, we're not going to say that those 22 were all gang related, but that was still an increase from 14 homicides in 2023. So in general, there is an increase in violence within the city of Harrisburg.
Is that those statistics? Is that only for the city of Harrisburg?
That's just literally in the city. It wasn't like the overarching. I didn't go into like, it was just the city. Mm-hmm. I tried my best to look at that. And then one of the things that I looked at was, how does Harrisburg compare to like other cities? Mm-hmm. And I want to get your perspective on this, okay? I read from the like Crime Explorer, and I was like getting some information out, that the city's violent crime is more than double what the national average is. So, and significantly above Pennsylvania's average. And so what it said was the violent crime, and we can talk about how these work, because it's like 1,063 per 100,000. Mm-hmm. Does that mean per capita? And so I wanted to kind of explain what that means for individuals. Like approximately 1,063 incidents of violent incidents per 100,000 residents. Right?
Yes.
And they talk about like nationally, it should look at like 6.5 per 100,000, whereas Harrisburg rate is 27.9 per 100,000 for homicides in general.
And that was from last year's.
That is from like an overarching. Yeah, that's not a last year's. These are just looking at U.S. cities with the highest murder rates in recent years. And Harrisburg has made itself on the map.
Wow. Okay.
And so when I looked at that, again, this is just in general. This wasn't gang related specifically. And I know that your position and what you do is looking specifically to like group violence and things of that nature. But when I found the stats, I was like, violent natures in general are growing, right? We can agree.
Yes.
There is an influx of more like violent crimes, whether it's group related or other people that are just kind of like going. The ages are getting younger.
Yes.
I think that's something else that we have to kind of like consider. But before we get into it, I just wanted to, with understanding that, can you just kind of explain the importance of your position? Like, why is your position alone? Like, why does that even exist within the Bureau of Police? And what is the intentions and focus of it now that we've just kind of talked about these staggering like numbers of just violence in general?
The group and gang violence initiative started in Harrisburg prior to me joining. I joined in March of this year.
I love that. Okay.
So I'm more new in this topic. I've done reentry.
Oh, we're going to go backwards on yours.
Okay.
I love it. Yes.
And coming into, to a police department is, that's where I work from, and seeing all these statistics and the truth behind the violence and what falls under group and gang violence is very minimal. It's minimum, way down to last year.
Okay.
When it's considered, group and gang violence.
Okay, can you explain how that is defined? Like, what is the definition in that? Like, how do you explain that? Because like you said, with this initiative, they are seeing it going down. So how is that like identified?
It's identified. Well, we have a street crimes unit.
Okay.
Who knows the affiliations in the area.
Absolutely.
So we know, when one group retaliates against another group or gang.
Okay.
And then if a homicide occurs, then we'll know,
that's what it is.
That's how it happened. And the reason.
Yeah.
It was because of affiliations.
Okay. And so you're getting better at really trying to like look at the affiliations of it. And we're starting to understand those trends. And because of taking the time to do that, if I'm understanding correctly, you're now seeing that your initiatives, and we're going to get into the actual initiatives, are starting to see a decrease already.
Correct.
Okay, so the reason for your position is simply to like, what is it that your position as a coordinator do? Like, are you in there? Like, are you in the community? Like, what does that look like?
My position is to get resources
Amen.
and support support outreach.
Okay.
So what I do is I'll go out to the neighborhoods and I'll speak to victims that have been impacted directly or indirectly, and I'll also speak to the people that have done these violences and people that are standing in the corner with a mask on.
Okay.
And I'll try to speak to them because obviously.
Hold on now. You out there?
I'm out there.
You better go. Hold
out there.
Hold on. Okay.
Yes,
So go ahead.
I'm out there. I go out there and I speak to them. I have no problem giving them my card.
Yes.
Explaining the dangers of them just standing there and trying to speak to them to see what's going on, because if we see kids nowadays that are 12 and 13 years old out there with guns,
girl,
something has to be happening at home. It has to be happening at home.
Exactly.
Because they shouldn't be outside at that time.
Right.
So, when we go and we approach them, and when I say we, it's me and the project manager, Angelo, Craig. We go out and we get information. This person is identified. He's this age. Do you want to go out to speak to him?
Okay.
So we go to their homes.
Yeah.
We speak to them. We give them resources. Let's suppose if the family is suffering from mental health, then we give them resources to see if they can go and get that mental health support.
Absolutely.
Drug and alcohol resources. If they need that in the home in order for it to get right, we get that to them. If the kid himself or herself wants to get out of that life, we try to get them resources to get them out of there, either with employment or even if they want to relocate somewhere. So we'll go into the
Yeah.
household to visit these kids, and if we see that the parent may be suffering from mental health
Absolutely.
issues, or even the child that we went to go visit,
Right.
you know, the individual themselves, if they need mental health resources
Absolutely.
or drug and alcohol resources, we can provide that without them having to look for it and not knowing where to go.
Absolutely. All right. So correct me if I'm wrong, because I have a background in social work. And so when I first started my career, I was more of like a case manager. Now this was, we're comparing apples and oranges. So I want to be clear. I'm by no means saying what I did was anything near that. But I know for us, and it sounds like we're going back into that same way of working, which I love. We really looked at a holistic approach to the person when it came to healthy pregnancy outcomes. So it sounds like we're basically taking that same approach, and tell me if I'm hitting something right. And now what you're doing is you're literally saying, I'm a firm believer everyone wants to belong and everyone wants to feel loved, right? Like the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Like there's, you've got to make sure that every one of those 5 areas are taken care of and met, right? And so, and when they're not met in the house, by nature, you go and you look for that. So please help me. Am I hitting it right? Like it sounds like what you're doing is you're basically going back then and saying something is missing here. Let's get you off of the street and let's figure out how to meet that need. Exactly. Like is that a fair estimate?
That's exactly what it is.
Okay.
We want to try to not give these kids any type of idle time. The summer, Harrisburg had a multitude of different locations.
Okay.
So these kids could not be out in the street, out there looking for something.
Right.
We gave them a lot of, the Parks and Recs had a lot of camps going on.
Okay.
So they could have joined. We're trying to gap that idle time where they won't be. Because when we do school presentations, I'm just going to deviate a little bit.
No, this is good.
In our school presentation, we tell them someone is going to approach you and ask you if they see you in the street at 6 o'clock in the morning or at 10 o'clock at night and you're 10 or 11 years old. They're going to ask you to do something for them.
Okay.
They're going to ask you to carry a gun for them. They're going to ask you to carry drugs for them. So we want to know what's going on at home. So we can help these kids not have them given that opportunity to go out and do these things.
Okay. So you're literally, it sounds like you're hitting them. It's that idea of like air, land, and sea kind of thing. Like you are doing presentations in the school, warning the children early on of what could potentially come.
Yes.
These are the things that are going to show up. This is how it's going to be. This is what's going to be presented to you. Like, here are the warning signs kind of thing.
Right.
But then if for whatever reason, either you didn't get to this child or that wasn't something that happened or life circumstances still led them down, you're also the same person who will then walk up to that person on the street, have a conversation if they're willing to have the conversation, and you're the same person who will then continue this conversation and take it to the house and say, so then what's missing here and how can we support? Does that feel...
That's 100% right on.
Okay. So you're really just being like a full-on holistic approach and a resource to literally everyone. So when you said you're legitimately a resource for all parties involved and anyone that's in there. The person who may be affiliated with the gang, all the way through any other family member, and also trying to prevent other kids from getting into. Okay. This is really, really an interesting topic. Now, in that, I do always like to go backwards, and you alluded to it, so it was a nice segue, but the conversation was just amazing in understanding exactly what the position does. What was your background? Like, how did you even, before we even talk about, you came here in March, like, what were you doing before that? Like, what brought you into...
I'm a drug and alcohol counselor by trade.
Okay.
I did drug and alcohol for 8 years. I took a little hiatus from that.
Okay.
It's a real demanding career.
Absolutely.
Especially if you work with inpatient and, people overdosing. And you can really, that takes a toll on someone's life.
Oh, 100%.
Mental health as well. So I decided to take care of myself.
Amen.
Self-care.
Yes.
And I got into another passion of mine, which is reentry.
Okay.
For men and women. And for the population, the very underserved population, which is our culture,
Absolutely.
the Latino community.
Yes, and we're going to talk. Yes,
because we do not get resources. We do not get no resources.
100%.
Nothing is put in Spanish. We have a lot of nonprofits that are out there saying, well, we have reentry services for this, we have reentry services for that. And when I ask them, so what do you have for reentry services in a way that the Latino community is coming to ask you for it?
Right.
Because we don't come if we're not invited.
That's facts.
Okay? We don't come to events if we're not invited.
Very true.
So if there's nothing out there in Spanish telling us to come, we're not going to be there.
That is fair.
So you're not giving reentry services to that community.
You're missing an entire population.
An entire population.
And it's a huge population in the area. Okay.
Exactly. So that's one of my missions is to make sure that they are included in everything.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of free resources where people give out a free day to clean their laundry.
Oh, wow.
But they don't know about it.
You don't know what you don't know. Exactly.
They don't know about it because it's not in Spanish.
Right. So,
okay. I just feel like it, especially where we're 2025. We're the second largest language there is in the world.
Absolutely. And let me tell you, you hitting something, though, because we're also one of the most hated right now.
Yes.
But we're not going to go down that road. We one of the most, but you're not wrong. And that's in every industry.
Yes, it is.
Like what you're saying is so true. And it was true. It's true. It's just as much true. Let me get my words out. It's just as much true today as it was way back when I was in the, started my career 15 plus years ago in social services. And it literally goes from industry to industry. Because again, quick plug, I am in the central Pennsylvania area, licensed realtor. So if you're in the area, that is how I actually fund this project. Back to the show. But in that same regard, none of those forms, and these are legal documents, right, are either in Spanish either. So what I'm understanding is you have worked in the drug and alcohol field / mental health. You have worked in reentry, and you're working now in group intervention and gang violence. But at the end of the day, in every last one of those arenas, you are also carrying with you the who of who Gina is. And with that, you have made it your mission to make sure that there is equitable resources for Latinos as well. Is that fair to say, no matter 100%. What position you're in?
No, 100%.
Oh, I love that.
And some people, when I question them, so why don't you have this in Spanish? They do feel some type of way, and they say, oh, we'll get it in Spanish. I said, please do.
Right.
Because you're missing a whole community.
Absolutely.
We need services, too.
Yeah.
I've been to events with politicians.
Absolutely.
And I asked them, when you did this event, did you think of making the invitation in Spanish?
Ooh.
So we know what's going on in the city, or so we know what's going on in the county mainly. We want to know. Right. They're beginning to do it now.
I love it.
100%. They're beginning to put things in Spanish.
Okay.
They're also, I would go to every Dauphin County prison board meeting, and everything was, do you have that on their tablet in Spanish? Because they're paying the same rates.
Right.
Because I'm also an advocate for the prison society.
Oh, so speak on that too.
Yeah, so I also go into the prisons, speak to those that don't know how to do things, or don't know who to speak to. Right. Because there's a language barrier.
Okay.
So, so I would go in and say, we need this in Spanish. We need to, when they come into booking, we need you to give them their rights and responsibilities in Spanish.
100%, so that they're aware.
They were given in English, and they were signing it off in English.
Oh, wow.
So that a little bit, but once I told them that, they were able to get everything in Spanish, and they were doing an amazing job in making sure that they do serve that population.
So you're seeing that there is at least, you're getting a positive response. It is lacking. The resources are lacking. But if I'm hearing you correctly, you're starting to see that all of the different industries, or, the sectors, the prisons, the other places of resources, like they are the politicians, they are starting to hear you, and in that they're responding accordingly, and they're starting to get things out in Spanish. Well, kudos to you in that to begin with, because you're not wrong. There is such a disconnect when it comes to, if you can't read, hear, or understand something in your native language, then how in the world am I supposed to then be expected to show up, understand, and do whatever it is that you're asking? So you're right. I need to be able to understand it. So it's important, and it's imperative, should I say, that people like you exist, because you have to advocate for those that cannot advocate for themselves. And the fact that you're doing that, and you're doing it in the community level, it just shows that, like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it just shows that you have a passion for people. Because in all of your passion, all of the positions, professional positions you've held, they have been serving individuals that are downtrodden to some degree. Like, these are the let go ofs, the ones, like, when you think of drug and alcohol, people have horrible stereotypes about what brings people to that. When you think about when you're doing reentry, anytime an individual has done any kind of time in prison, there is a horrible stigma that is attached to an individual when they're trying to reenter society. And same when it comes to this topic right now with this group intervention and, like, the gang violence that you're trying to coordinate, you're boots on the ground. Correct. Right, Gina?
Right. We are. We're outside.
We outside. I know that's right.
This background of mine is really touching to me, because my father was an addict.
You better go. I was about to ask, where does this passion come from?
So were my some of my siblings who passed. My only two brothers both passed.
Oh wow, I'm so sorry.
Drugs. So that's where my passion lies. That's why I'm so passionate about people. And that's why wherever I work, and someone that doesn't speak English comes in,
right,
and I feel that they're treated a certain way, I just, I go off, only because no one knows what life someone else is living.
That's it right there.
You always have to be kind. My brother did 17 years. He came out, he committed suicide.
Oh my God.
After that, because he came home to no resources. It was a whole brand new world.
Right. 17 years. And if he went in there young, you are systemized. People don't understand what that system living looks like. And then having to come back out decades later, God only knows when he went in. Now you've got technology at an uptime, like you're doing applications online. He may not have understood. I am so sorry. Like, I don't think people understand what that looks like. Right. Like, you literally get out of the prison, and then it's like, okay, go live life.
Live life, no mental health resources given, nothing, So mentally, he just felt like, I don't belong here anymore, because I don't know what happened to my life last 17 years.
Wow.
But that's why I try to be as kind to everyone as I can.
Absolutely.
And, just I'm there for the people. And every time any interview, if I don't get hired, and it's always people related, please hire someone that's there for the people and not for the money.
Oh, my.
Because I just feel that somebody needs to help. And I'm going to continue. They get upset. I'm going to continue to advocate for the Latino community.
They need you. So I don't know if you know, and maybe not stats in particular, but like, being that you are boots on the ground, like, what does that look like today? Like, when it comes to, like, the work that you're doing, and, like, specifically, let's go down this road real quick. Like, when it comes to Latinos in particular, like, what does that currently look like for you? And what are you seeing when it comes to the work that you're doing now versus when you first started, and or like where you think that's kind of going?
I just created some cards here, which I'll show you really quick. So it's cards that
and they'll be up on the screen, guys. Yep.
They look like this, and they look like this. So
okay.
And the front is English and the back is Spanish.
Perfect.
Sometimes we go to households where they don't want to speak to us because in fear of retaliation from other
understood
members of these groups or gangs. So we'll slip this in their mailbox or even mail it to them.
Okay.
So they can have that resources in Spanish and
I love
know who to call anonymously and speak to us.
I love that.
So it's hard because they're scared. And I come in with a mom. They all know me because I did a lot of reentry, so everybody knows, go to, call Miss Vazquez, Miss Gina. She knows, she'll help. So that's something that's really important for me, because when I see the kids, I try to engage them. What's going on at home? Do you need this? Do you need a bus pass? Do you need a bus pass to get to work? Something.
Yeah.
Resources are always available. There's a lot of resources.
Absolutely.
Our community doesn't know about. And I don't
even think I know everything that's out there, to be honest.
There's a lot of resources, because no one could be excluded when they're given these resources from they have to be able to have them.
Right.
And they have not been having that. So I call them out on that.
Okay.
And make sure that we need that help too.
I know that's right. So you're just showing up. And now that you have those cards, even if a family may not be in a position where they're ready to have a conversation or they're ready to necessarily raise their hands, you having these resources now, you're able to go basically like door to door or to the places that you're targeting, and you're doing the best that you can to like provide those resources now, so that if and when there's a situation that occurs, they do have something that is in Spanish that they can read and be like, oh yeah, that lady was here, and hopefully use it. Is
Correct.
that okay? Yes. That is like absolutely amazing. Is there, I'm trying to understand like the correlation between like the lack of information and resources, and then like the state of like the city that you've seen. Like, do you feel like because of the fact that a lot of people may lack resources or don't know what's going on, like, do you believe in that correlation, that because this is lacking, that is why there was a higher trend of violence? Like, are you seeing anything to like support that, or like are you just, because of the fact that we're trying to create this wraparound service, we're just giving you everything and we're hoping that being more present is in and of itself what's going to be like most positive?
When you say the whole, like, you said if
there's a correlation between right. So meaning like, is because of lack, is there a direct correlation then to what was happening, the trend?
Is it with everyone?
With the gang,
or the Latino community?
Kind of like, let's go with everyone, and then we can go Latino specific. I love the fact that we're talking to Latino specific too.
I feel like, yes, there is, because of the lack of resources.
Okay.
And the lack of resources that are willing to follow through.
There it is.
To follow through.
There it is.
Yes. And, those follow-ups. Once we in GVI, once we refer someone to mental health, we'll continue to follow up with that individual for a year.
Okay.
If we refer them to CareerLink, for resources, we follow up with their advisor and say, hey, did he come, or hey, did she come to look for a job, or did she do this because I referred her? We're still progressing there. We're still reporting and seeing their progress. We're just not letting that go there.
Okay.
We continue to make sure that they're, getting that help and that they're using it accordingly.
I love that. Now, I know you haven't been with this section for a very long time, but without, of course, giving out any like personal information, can you share with me like one of your greatest accomplishments that you feel like you've already like achieved for the city of Harrisburg when it comes to the work that you guys are doing right now?
I think one of the biggest things that I brought to this to GVI was knowing my culture and knowing that gap in those resources and language barriers.
Absolutely.
And also knowing so many people out in the community that I've worked with, that I'm able to go places and resources, and they know me, like they already know what I do and who I am.
So you're like, I'm creating a blueprint already. Like I'm stamped. People know who I am now.
Exactly.
I love that. Right. That's huge. Now, with everything that you've been saying as far as the gangs and stuff, I just kind of want to like touch on the importance of it. Do we know, and I don't want to get too far into the weeds of that, but like, how many gangs like are like within our area by chance, or like how, like, is this, because I feel like the news sometimes can make it seem real crazy. Like, do you feel like there's like
There's quite a few. I don't know numbers on because they change.
They changed. That's why I was asking, and that's why I was like, I don't not recognizing, but
all of a sudden, like we'll see a new some type of graffiti up as a territorial thing.
Okay.
That we didn't see there last week, or things like that. So there's little groups. We call them little groups. Because, little gangs.
I love it. She's like the little groups here. They popping up.
They just pop up. Okay, one got mad today, so he'll bring 5 more friends. They become a group. And,
okay.
So that's how
they're doing it here.
That's how they're doing it here.
Are we aware of any like well-known gangs in our area? Like, do we know if there's any of like big names without putting them? I don't want to give anyone credit, but like, you know what I mean? Like any
any. I know what you're talking.
I
know what you mean.
You picking up what I'm putting down? You picking it up? Like any well-known? Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Not to the nature of what we would see, like in New York or Philly or
correct.
Other places. Not to that magnitude.
Okay.
Yeah, and hopefully not.
That's the reason why you're here.
Right.
So if I'm understanding correctly, we have seen an upward trend in violence and violent behaviors and group-related violent behaviors over the years. The city seems like they responded fairly quickly. They put this in place, and now they've continued. Do you know? Now I know you're newer, but how long has this intervention group been up?
It has been up since the end of 2023, I believe.
Okay,
my project manager started, so not that long ago.
Good. Okay, so right there where that they saw the upward trend. Right. They saw what it was that I was talking about when I pulled my statistics as well, and they implemented. Go ahead, City of Harrisburg. I see you. I see you. Okay.
Yes. And our mayor has been 100% behind us.
Really?
She's been wonderful with us, and she's have our back if we have any problems, any issues. She has no problem to listening to our concerns.
Okay.
So I want to give her, I want to thank her for that, and our captain too. We Angelo and I, we work really well together. So what he lacks in some areas, I have in others.
I love that.
So we work good. I know the community.
Mm-hmm.
I can see somebody. I have a criminal justice background too.
You better go ahead.
So I know the community. I know how to talk to kids. Like, I'm a mom of 5.
Right.
I know how to talk to kids. I'm not afraid to come and speak to anyone on the street.
I love that.
Or give my card out or give anything out and say, hey, there's another life
out there for you. Yes, absolutely.
You don't have to be here. Like, you don't have to do this.
I love that.
So it's important that we get that recognition and recognition in a form of they're here to help and we're not police.
Right.
Because we want to make sure first that they know that we're not police.
Right.
I'm a civilian.
Right. Yeah.
So I need them, first to know, we're not police. We're just here to give you resources.
Say it. Exactly.
That's it, because it's important that they know.
Because of the fact that there has been, unfortunately, a certain level of disconnect and distrust when it comes to that, just systemically. But in that same regard, and correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds as though the fact that the police department, like the Bureau of Police, have even allowed for such initiative, while they also understand that there may be a disconnect. Is that fair to say? And because of it, that's why this unit exists to begin with, to start to repair those relationships.
Exactly. Yes, and we have already started.
I love that.
Yeah, we've already started to pair up with the police.
Okay.
So that's how we know, who's affiliated and who's not.
Yeah.
So, they give us that information so we can go. They want to see this go down as much as we do.
Absolutely.
We're trying to work together to get,
Yeah.
We don't want to see nobody else killed. We don't want to see another 13-year-old person,
Can we...
It's we don't want to see that.
Right.
We're trying to avoid these issues. So that's why we've come together to get this initiative big. This initiative, they have the same initiative in York.
Okay.
And they have Tiffany, who's amazing, running it over there. And her statistics are amazing. But she's been running it, I believe, for 5 years.
Okay.
So it's longer. So yes, she has more people.
Right.
This is
it's a little duo. There's a duo going on. That's it. So okay.
We need people who really know that life, that would love to walk with us and speak to these kids.
Absolutely.
about what can happen if they continue to walk this life of crime.
Go ahead and quick plug, Tiff. I was about to call you Tiffany, Gina. You done said Tiffany's name, Tiffany in York. I wish you the best. Gina, are there any like opportunities within the city that you can talk? Like, is that
where we had someone call us? Everybody wants to get paid, first of all.
Okay.
You know.
All right.
We're trying to. This is a grant that we're working from.
Okay.
So we're trying to get people who really want to help from here.
Okay. So more like volunteers.
Like volunteers
okay.
who really want to work from here and just tell their story to these young kids. Hey, you know, like I did this. I ended up in here for how many years and now.
Okay. So you're doing like groups kind of.
Right.
Okay.
We would love for people to participate, to call to volunteer, to come with us and we can do a walkthrough and you know, come and visit these kids. If they see a group of kids, talk to them.
Right.
You know, give them words of encouragement and let them know that this is not a life they have to lead.
Absolutely.
See, you know, if it's 90 degrees out and somebody has one of those, one of them had the ski mask on.
Yes.
Why you have that ski mask on?
It's way too hot. It's way too hot to be wearing this.
Like, you know, these are things that we have to like be able to address our community, but our community has grown so far.
That's it right there. I feel like the African proverb, it takes a village, like, you know what I mean, to raise a family.
To raise a family. Mm-hmm.
It doesn't exist anymore. So, and you are seeing, because you're boots on the ground, like the disconnect and the way that can actually hurt an entire community. Yes. So you're basically trying to rebuild It Takes a Village and create that village again and create that network of support and create those resources so that people feel like they belong, they're part of, they are just as important in this community as anyone else. Because I do think that there's just a huge disconnect and everyone's on their own.
Everyone's on their own. And then, you know, we have these groups and gangs that take over these little blocks and then all these residents are afraid. But if these residents were to let us know, hey, this is what's going on, we could try to like clean up.
Absolutely.
That block, you know?
Yeah.
Either by giving them employment, by helping them get a resume, by helping, just because they didn't know these resources existed before, or they don't want to bother.
Right.
Because they've already been let down so many times that they feel like they're not.
That right there.
That's
exactly. It. Mm-hmm. That is it. Because people think, and we can again talk about that when it comes to Latinos in general, like you tell them no once,
they won't come. Right.
That's all they needed to hear.
Mm-hmm.
If they feel like they're bothering or they feel like they're a nuisance of some sort, if they feel like that didn't feel great that last time I tried that, I'm good off of it. So not only are you an advocate for the community, not only are you trying to go back to the days of it takes a village, let's support one another, we're bringing it back. You're also trying to bridge that gap and make sure that Latinos in general, like that they too specifically know you are just as important to this community. We're going to ensure that you understand. We're going to ensure that you know that these things are available and they're available to you to avoid falling into some of these traps and falling into these behaviors.
Correct.
Now, I'm going to ask you a random question, but it's how do you respond, or what would you say to someone who says, so that idea of like nature versus nurture, right? Like you've got a lot of people that are going to look at this kind of work and just like, and the work that you're doing in general and be like, you're wasting your time because the kid's going to do what they're going to do no matter what, right? You know, a lot of people who have that kind of attitude of like, a bad egg is a bad egg and that's just what it is and you got to let the system do what it does. Like, how would you respond to the naysayer who might be listening to this information and be like, this is a lot of kumbaya I'm hearing, but like, how is this really leading to results? Like, what would you say to someone like that?
Everyone deserves a chance.
There it is.
It doesn't matter. There's no bad egg.
Hey, amen.
There's no bad egg.
Right.
There's bad resources to cause that bad egg, or there may be bad chickens that are causing this bad egg. But, you know, everyone deserves a chance and everyone should be heard and should be treated respectfully.
Absolutely. No, that you've said it beautifully. I just thought I'd ask because, you know, some people, there's going to be someone out there, especially especially in the society that we're in now. And there's a lot of polarizing opinions on one side or the other. I just wondered because, again, I come from a social work background, so I too am community focused and about community in a different arena in my day now, but still very much rooted in community and like empowering communities. So I get it, but I just had to throw it out there because you're going to get that person that's like, that's a waste of resources. We're wasting our money. Get rid of that line item. And you said it yourself that you're working from a grant. So I just thought I'd throw that, in there. Now, it leads me to then another question. And this is also just kind of as we're having the conversation, because it's just, this is important. This is a grant funded program, right? How long do you guys have and what does that look like? Like, are you fearful of future or do you believe that the work is going to continue?
The work is going to continue.
Amen.
The work is going to continue because we need it.
Amen.
We need it. So the work is going to continue. We already have buy-in from the police department. They want us there. And we're going to be recommended when probation or parole, if they see that if they know someone is affiliated, they'll send them to us. And
great.
So I think that it's really important that we're here.
Yeah.
We're here.
What other, I know we talked about you do school presentations, you go to the individuals, you get lists of people. Like, what else are you guys doing out here? Like, is there anything else like going on? Like,
I go to every event that's happening.
All right.
Just to let them know what we do and that we're here. And we go to the prisons. We also visit
Talk
the
on
prisons.
that. What does that look like?
We would go into the prisons and we speak to the ones that are ready to come home.
Okay.
That have been either affiliated directly or indirectly.
Okay.
And we talk to them. We let them know, hey, we have these resources. Once you come home, hit me up. I'll help you.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to go back to that life.
Absolutely.
So just hit me up.
So are you part of that aftercare kind of? Okay.
Yes. So, I tell them, just give me a call. I'll help you. So
I love that.
Yeah, call, email, come visit, do whatever you need to do. But just come see me. To try to avoid them going back to that life.
Amen. In knowing that, how would you say change happens? Like, how would you then, so someone was in there, they do call you, like, how does that, like, what does that look like?
So we'll get a referral.
Okay.
We'll meet with the person.
Yeah.
We'll go visit the house. We'll see, maybe mom or maybe dad needs employment.
Okay.
We'll refer the dad, the mom to Career Link so they could get assistance there. Or if we know specific, because we know the community, if we know that somebody's hiring, we'll send them directly. We'll help them with resumes first.
Okay.
So, we get them assisted. And then we focus on the kid. If the kid needs to go back to school, we'll help the mom enroll him back into school.
Okay.
Or if the kid wants to come home, or individual wants to come home, and I want to do some type of schooling or certification.
Okay.
We'll try to get them resources for that.
Absolutely.
Because we want to make sure that they come home and not
need any reason to go back.
Not exactly.
Okay, so you're going in, you have the conversation literally before they come out. You're praying for, and let's say that best case scenario, you do end up getting that referral. From referral, you then are making contact, you're going into the home, and off rip, if I'm understanding correctly, you're assessing everything. You're assessing what are the gaps, what do the parents need, the house is okay, what does that need? Here, this is what the individual is looking for. Okay, here are the resources to try to get you set up. So in that way, you're bridging all gaps so that they can hopefully have all areas of needs met to then just continue to move forward. Now, do you then just continue? Like, what's that like?
So
care?
once they come, like if they need to go to, if they want drug and alcohol treatment.
Yeah.
I know there's a HIPAA, but all we want to know is, are they following through?
Okay.
Because, you need to, the most important ones, which is drug and alcohol and mental health.
Absolutely.
Which normally are always come together. It's
chicken or the egg.
Yes.
Exactly. One or the other.
With that being said, if they want that, being in that field, like I can call somebody up right now and say, hey,
I got
this
somebody.
person needs to be taken, inpatient and such a way. So they'll come, okay, give me information, and then they'll come pick them up and bring them to rehab.
Wow. So
Yeah, so we already have certain places that do that for me.
Okay.
But it's things like that. We have to know what they need in order to assist, because they don't know where to get it from. Mm-hmm. Or they don't trust.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
No, 100%. I think if I understand correctly, and the biggest important takeaway is the fact that A, you're finding ways to connect. B, you're going above and beyond, and you're ensuring that people walk away understanding. Hence the importance when it comes to Latinos understanding it and having it in their language as well. So in general, for anyone, you're making sure not only that you connect to them, but that they walk away understanding and that they know what resources are available, and you're making sure that they've got the information, because when you know better, you do better.
Correct.
Right. And then the next, it sounds like your secret sauce is you staying on them.
Right.
You're continuing. You're not, this isn't just a number that filed, you got the file done and you walked away. You're really following up and making sure that these people are being heard and understood, and following up on, all right, did you do this? You don't have to tell me whatever you don't want to say, but did you follow through? Mm-hmm. And if they didn't, if they say no, it sounds like you're then, all right, so what's necessary? Is it this or that? You're staying on it.
Right. I'm like, so then why not?
Okay.
I didn't have transportation to get there. Then, okay, we'll fix that.
Right. And you keep you're staying in what I would call discovery. You're just continuing to discover what all these needs are and continuing to unpack where there might be gaps. And that helps you then, and boom, here's a resource for that. Yes. So you're responding accordingly.
Right. So they can say, well, nope, here you go. This is how we're going to bridge this. Or nope, this is where you can get that.
Love that.
Be able to give them so they won't have an excuse.
I love it. And because of this, you guys are continuing to see the trends going down.
Correct.
And that's important. And you go to the schools prior. So it's it really is a holistic. Mm-hmm. So what's next? What else is coming?
We're still boots on the ground. We're always outside. We're having a national night out. I'm sorry, this little
here.
So this is this is next Tuesday from 5:30 to 8 o'clock.
Okay.
There's a lot of resources there for the kids. A lot of food.
Love it.
A lot of food is going to be for everything free.
Okay.
Puppet shows. I think they have a petting zoo, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, wow.
So they're going to have a lot of extracurricular activities going on that day. And this day is mainly so the community can come out.
I love this.
And see who we are as the police bureau.
Absolutely.
To mingle.
Yes.
To know that they're individuals too.
Absolutely.
That they're human beings.
Yes.
That they care for the community. I also, once I saw this, I was like, where's this in Spanish?
I know that's right.
And quickly they got the sign out in Spanish and put them all around.
You better go, Gina.
Because I was like, so how are you how are you going to Hall Manor and not putting signs up in Spanish?
Right.
So they can come out and enjoy this night.
Right.
They need to.
100%. Exactly.
So we got them out in Spanish, which was great, really quickly. And they're giving out these bags here with a bunch of goodies, and this goodies is for you.
I got gifts, guys. Mm-hmm. Y'all better go to the little national night out. They got goodies. Okay. Well, go ahead. Let me put this down. I love that. Thank you.
You're welcome. You can have the little hats.
Hold on. I'm going to do it on my hair right now, but absolutely. I love it. No, I love it. I definitely keep on.
So it's things like that they do just to communicate with the community.
Okay.
Because the community also needs that to know that the police is not there only to harm.
Right.
And they're not there to harm at all. They're there to help.
Right.
And that's where that bridge is that needs to be built and
I love it.
And unite again.
Absolutely.
The way they did at some point. And it broke for a little, or it's getting repaired right now. So
well, it took years for a system to have its breaks in it. Mm-hmm. It's gonna take years again to repair. We can't expect something that has taken so long to be broken to be repaired in days. It's gonna take the same amount, if not more, to rebuild the trust that was broken. That's just in any situation. So I do think that the fact that the Bureau has embraced this initiative embrace your unit and really trying that in of itself is the first steps, because it shows that there's a want, a desire to repair relationships.
Right.
And I think that's the beginning.
Correct. That is the beginning.
You know,
yes.
like the acknowledgement of we can't do it on our own in this manner. Let's look at it from that. I mean, I do believe in my heart of hearts, and it sounds like you've been in the same way. I always go back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Like, we just have to make sure that all of those needs are met for an individual. And that top one, that self-acceptance and self-awareness that comes from is after you know that the one right before it, love and belonging, that you belong, that there's a community that cares, and that you have a place to go to, that there's food in your home, like all of those other just essentials. And you're really wrapping people up in that.
Correct.
That's amazing.
Yes.
I think what you're doing is great. Now, I'm going to give you a moment, and you can look literally directly to the camera to speak in Spanish specifically, to invite Latinos to your night out. We just said it in English. I want you to take a moment and actually say it in Spanish. Let's let our people know that this is what we do. Mm-hmm.
Te invitamos a la Noche Nacional, martes, agosto 5, de 5:30 de la tarde a 8:30 de la noche, para actividades, comida de gratis. Hay transportación para llevarte para la locación que va a ser en Strawberry Square, downtown, la área de downtown.
Mm-hmm.
Sal con los niños para que se diviertan, para que salgan de su área de comfortability.
Exacto. Sí.
Para que vean otras cosas y la belleza que tiene downtown.
Absolutely.
Salgan a divertirse.
Yeah, salgan.
Y a comer.
Que salgan, diviértese y que coman comida.
Yes.
Exactly. Es todo gratis. So I just felt the need to, especially being that you've been talking about the importance of inviting and making sure that this community understands as well. Being that we're both Latinas, you know what I mean? I felt inclined to say, well, then let's do that call to action literally in Spanish and make sure that they also know that they're invited.
They're invited.
100%. Is there anything that I didn't hit on that you want to touch on? Is there something that I missed when it comes to the amazing work that you're doing?
No, we hit on everything. I just wanted to give you this
Oh, here we go. Hold on. I got gifts, guys.
This little potato.
Oh, I told you I'd have to say. This is so cute. Positive. I'm going to read it, guys. Here. This is the potato that she just gave me. And it says, positive potato. I may be a tiny potato, but I believe in you. Go do your thing. Oh, my. Thank you. That is so sweet. Oh, how am I supposed to do my key takeaways after this? That's amazing. Okay. Thank you so much. I got a lot going on this little seat of mine. But for every episode, I always like to then bring it out into my key takeaways of the conversation that we had. And there's so much, so bear with me, but I'm going to go ahead and share a few of my key takeaways. My first key takeaway is, in order to have true impact in work, you have to be passionate about it. Gina, from the time that she has sat on this couch, you can feel the passion for community. So that was my first key takeaway. And in that, she had a level of relatability because the passion comes from family experiences. So that's number one. My second key takeaway is going to be, I'm just going to use the African proverb. It takes a village to build a family, to care for a family. So that's my key takeaway, because the reasons why programs like this exist is because we have walked away and we have veered away from the days of communal support and community. We are very individualistic, and because of that break, we no longer look to our neighbor for assistance or look to our neighbor to also be of assistance. And because of that, we are now today seeing violence going up, gangs going up, and a cry, honestly, for help from our younger generation. And that is why Gina's position is even there to begin with. My third key takeaway is when you know better, you do better. A lot of what Gina is doing is providing resources that people may not know, providing information in a language that they're able to understand, and provide information so that people can make better informed decisions. So if you know better, you do better. And we're seeing that in the work that's being done. My last key takeaway is just going to be, let us all, I want to make sure I say it right, because you said it earlier when you were talking about yourself. Here, I'm going to say it like this. The last key takeaway is be kind, because you never know a person's situation or the life that they're living when they're in front of you. And one thing that I realized in the conversation, and not just in this conversation, because I like to think I practice it, but let us also just walk away with this key takeaway, because she's oozing of it. It's to be kind, to treat people with kindness, and to have compassion, to understand that you don't know what you don't know, and you don't know what a person's going through. And so I think that those things are just quick, easy takeaways that can allow us all to start to heal, allow us to mend relationships, just the way that the city of Harrisburg and the Bureau of Police are looking to mend relationships between the community and the Bureau of Police. Let us also just take time to mend our own relationships and to be kinder, be nicer. And yeah, those are my big ones. So I can't thank you enough. It's the people like you, the boots on the ground. Those are the individuals that really are making the difference. You are a change maker. You genuinely are an advocate for our community. You're an advocate for the work that you're doing, but based upon just all of the different things, the drug and alcohol, re-entry services, and now this, you have a heart for community, and those are the ones that make real big impact when it comes to community.
Thank you.
Sometimes y'all don't get enough recognition, but you are the real change makers. You're the heroes without the capes. So I can't thank you enough for your time. I love my positive potato. Get out there, guys. Look for any type of events that are coming out for the city. I'm going to make sure that I put everything for the city of Harrisburg in the event and all of the event calendar and anything else that they've got going on. She's outside, like she said. So if she's outside, make sure y'all outside and y'all catch her at one of these events. Let's go out. Let's support. And let's be great. So as always, guys, sending light, sending love. Got my potato here. Bye. Bye.